Aussie-based Web3 conference, even though I'm currently traveling in Malaysia. My name is Simon, and I'm excited to share with you all Tekne, a project that I believe will not only redefine how we prove skills online, but also bring real measurable value to the Solana ecosystem. So after my speech, you guys will have a bit of a product demo by Sharav to look forward to, so to actually see what I'm describing being put into action as well. So yeah, let's start with the reality that we're all used to by now. Whether you're a recruiter or someone who has looked for a job, you probably know that proving skill in the real world is difficult, but online, it's nearly impossible. As we move towards a world filled with AI taking over, how do we actually prove human intelligence and skill? Well, with AI. So whether you're an individual trying to show that you're talented or a company trying to identify true capability, we don't want to rely on resumes, portfolios, or simply vague reputation, none of which can actually give us an accurate measure of someone's real ability. In Web3, this problem is exacerbated by the fact that our world is borderless, mostly anonymous, and incredibly fast moving. So how does a resume actually measure adaptability? How can you prove it through a quiz? Simply, you can't. So this is where I believe Tekne comes in. Tekne is an AI-driven, simulation-based tournament platform. Instead of saying you have a skill, we allow you to prove it by competing in dynamic, challenge-based tournaments that replicate real-world scenarios. We're not talking about a simple quiz or a multiple-choice test. We're talking about text-based or audio-based simulations where your decisions and your performance are actually measured by AI, giving you an in-depth and dynamic report as feedback. So the result, we can create a verifiable and on-chain proof of skill, something that is transparent, importantly immutable, and can travel with you across the Solana ecosystem. This ability to prove skill matters for two main reasons. For individuals, Tekne provides a way to showcase skills in a way that employers, DAOs, protocols, and communities can actually trust. It's not about what you can claim you can do, it's about what you can actually prove. And for Web3 projects, Tekne unlocks a better way to discover talent, onboard contributors, and run competitions that go beyond just vanity metrics. For example, a problem that I've personally faced as a founder is, how do I pick community ambassadors for my projects? I can't simply hire everyone that applies, but I don't necessarily want to just pick either. Not only is it because I don't really know everyone's capabilities, I've become friends with a lot of our community members, our potential ambassadors, and it just doesn't feel right picking someone over someone else. And for this reason, we just haven't yet. So with Tekne, I can simply run a tournament, hire those who objectively perform the best, which should lead to the best results and best of all, no hurt feelings. However, can this actually work? Well, here's something important I should note. Tekne isn't just another fresh Web3 idea with a prototype and no MVP. Tekne is actually powered by Polynize's AI engine behind the scenes. Polynize has already been battle tested by the likes of Melbourne University and GitHub, owned by Microsoft. Polynize is a multilingual program with specific targets in India, Asia, and South America. So now Tekne is just beginning our Web3 journey, but we are backed by strong partners like Mexi Ventures, Optio Capital, and other top crypto VCs as well. With a strong background in Web2 from the co-founders of Polynize, Mars and Sharav, who is here today, and myself and Jamie, who are the DJs from the Web3 world, we believe we can make a truly amazing Web2 product into a unicorn in the Web3 world. So this leads us to the next question is, why do this on Solana? Out of all the chains that exist out there, EVM, Rust, or other, we chose Solana because it's the only chain that we believe can handle what we need at scale. Our platform hosts frequent simulation-based tournaments that generate constant activity, from entries, rewards, results, and NFT credentials. We can create an ecosystem where every action translates into an on-chain transaction, or simply mint the NFTs for skills. If we actually have an ecosystem where every transaction is on-chain, we can actually verify this on-chain as well, which is our long-term goal. On top of gameplay transactions, we will also have governance, token staking, token trading activities, all of which will cost gas and generate chain activity for the chain that we're on. So today, this activity is limited to our Web3 environment. However, with support from Solana, we hope to have this ability to expand our model into our Web2 business as well, empowering employers worldwide to verify user credentials directly on the Solana blockchain. We achieve this through full user abstraction. Participants get all the benefits of Solana without ever needing to know they're actually interacting with Web3 or any blockchain at all, unless, of course, they want to learn about it and to view and manage their achievements. So the result is seamless accessibility for users and a significant boost in Solana transactions, adoption, and wallet creation. This translates into higher transaction throughput, which Solana is uniquely positioned to handle. Right now, we are expecting to launch maybe 2 to 3 tournaments a month at the start when we first start with the Web3 side. If we have, let's say, 50 to 100 participants per tournament, generating maybe 5 to 10 transactions per play, we can expect about 500 to maybe 3,000 transactions per month, which is okay, not much. But what if we were to scale this and include the pollinized side of the business as well, which is the Web2 side? With Web2 companies using us already for training, hiring, education, and more, and Web3 projects which will use us for marketing, hiring, and more, I believe we can easily be seeing over 100 tournaments a day, which can easily translate to over 100,000 transactions every day just from the tournament side, not including our token integration and governance as well. However, transactions aren't the only way I believe we can benefit Solana. Remember, I mentioned that we will also have full user account abstraction. So what this means is we'll create wallets for everyone on our Web2 platform, minting them skill NFTs, and thus establishing new users into the Solana ecosystem. How it will look for users is that they'll simply sign up with an email. We will pair their email with a wallet, and when they complete their first tournament, they will receive an NFT. And as simple as that, we've onboarded a new user into Solana. This user will then have the ability to claim their address at any time, in which case we will delete their private key from our system and let them explore the great Solana ecosystem with their own wallet on their own. Our goal initially is to simply collect wallets and users for Solana. And when we are ready with the support of Solana Foundation, we plan to do a mass push to activate these users from simply passive NFT holding wallets to actual Solana users through a major awareness and education campaign throughout our web. Lastly, we want to contribute to Solana's narrative. Whether people like it or not, Solana has carried a bit of an image problem, in my opinion. Having worked in the industry for over 8 years, being full-time in Web3 since 2021, I'll admit I've always thought of Solana as a bit of a meme chain. The only time I've personally used Solana is to trade meme coins. And same with my colleagues and everyone that I worked with. So despite its unmatched speed and efficiency, which clearly make it ideal for trading, gaming, and beyond, that meme chain perception is actually stuck, especially coming from the EVM side of the world. So when I took the time to actually explore deeper, I realized that Solana is actually much more than that. It's a chain with the power to drive meaningful and scalable applications. And I believe a breakout app like Tekne that isn't just DeFi or RWAs that everyone's used to by now, but a real AI app. We can actually help reshape the narrative showing Solana not just as the home of memes, but as the backbone of a new era of education, hiring, training, marketing, and community engagement. Yeah, going back to Tekne, although the product is at the heart of our ecosystem, I would be remiss if I didn't spend a little bit of time just talking about our token. So the Tekne token, or TT, powers the entry fees, tournament creation, staking, governance, and more in the future as we expand our ecosystem. A portion of all fees with every tournament is burned, making activity on Tekne directly tied to the health of the token economy. So the goal here, and the goal for every good token, in my opinion, is actually for a tool of user engagement. Being a DJ myself, I'm generally less inclined to try new products if there isn't a token. But if there is a token, I'm more likely to try the product just to see if the token is worth buying. And that's essentially the loop that we want to use to hook our community. Initially, there will be a Tekne token airdrop as well. If you simply participate in tournaments, you can earn points, which can be exchanged for Tekne tokens at our TGE, which hasn't happened yet. And we will be partnering with Solana brands to create our initial pilot program. So we currently have Great Academy in the pipeline, but if anyone here is interested in creating a free pilot program to test out our product for your project, please contact me or Shrov after this presentation. Yeah, I'm sure you're all bored of listening to me ramble on about the project. Let's actually see it in action. So I've got the co-founder and CEO/CTO of Colonize, Shrov, here to go through a bit of a product demo for you all. So yeah, Shrov, the floor is all yours.
Thanks so much, Simon. The microphone is on. Hello. You can all hear me? Great to be here.
Yep, perfect.
Thanks for inviting us, and I appreciate that opportunity. I won't reiterate what Simon says, just a couple of things to quickly build on it before we jump into showing you rather than talking. As Simon mentioned, the vision here is bigger than just building something from an engagement point of view. We've actually got an opportunity here to really do something meaningful, which is to educate, to train, to bring out people's skills. Now, what the main platform, the technology does is what I'm going to show you now, which is the experience of actually going through and being able to go into something that's real world simulation, solve a challenge, and then prove yourself with real skills. That's the basic loop that is driven by the AI engine, and it's powered by this Polonize technology, which we're happy to say has been out there, has gone through a huge amount of market validation and is now starting to see some success. So I'm going to start here by just showing you a demo of what it looks like as a participant to go through and play one of these Tekne tournaments powered by this technology. And then after that, I'm actually going to ask you guys to jump on and try it out. And it's super fun. It'll take about 5 or 10 minutes. You can use your phone or your PC, and we can all have a play. And then after that, we'll come back. We'll have a look at the leaderboard. We'll see who's done well, who's got the skills. And I'm sure we'll have a few questions and look forward to some discussion after that. So what you're seeing here is Tekne homepage on Polonize as it stands right now. Just a nice simple demo that we've put together for you. Polonize.io. You just hit the page. We currently require you to have Phantom either on your mobile or on your browser extension. So you'll just go in, connect up your wallet, and jump straight in. Now, once you're in, what you'll get is you'll get the tournaments of the day, if you like. Now, I've just set up a couple of tournaments here for us to look at as a demo. So just waiting for this to load. And I have had a new laptop, so apologies if I have to stop a couple of times because it's a little sluggish. I've had to use a backup laptop. My other one died. So today here, I've just got a couple of tournaments. Now, each of these squares, this is a tournament that can be launched by any of our partners through Tekne. Like, you can take any brand and instantly launch one of these, what we call simulations or tournaments. And inside each of these, there are challenges that have been created by the AI to actually take you through. And the topics of these are things that the brands have actually put in. So for example, here, I've actually created really simple tournaments for us today, which is just from a little piece of text that we got, Simon put together, which is a challenge around pitching Solana to someone. But we can go from something simple like this all the way to something very complicated and educational, such as some kind of DeFi training or even technical training and dev training. And all of that is possible. But let me show you one of these more simple ones, just so that we can introduce ourselves and do something fun that everyone can access. So the player experience, you've got your options and you'll just simply click in and play the tournament that you're interested in. I'll actually flick over to this other window to now demonstrate to you how to play through. So here I've got a simulation. It's called a Solana Maxi Challenge that's been put together. Step into the shoes of a Solana Maxi as you face a gauntlet of challenging scenarios designed to test your knowledge, persuasion, and technical depth in the world of Web3. So navigate your skeptical friends and hardened Bitcoiners and showcase your understanding and ability to basically respond and pitch Solana. Nice and simple, something anyone who's a maxi probably can relate to. So let me press continue and jump straight in. So very simple interface here as a player, which is essentially you just get your different game scenarios to play through one by one. As you can see here, we've got game 1, Solana elevator pitch, a skeptical friend. Let me play through that with you, and then we'll have a look at what it looks like on the leaderboard. So I'll simply click in. I've signed in with my wallet. I'm ready to go. Now, we have a point system on the platform and credits. Currently, I've been given 25 free credits, as you will be when you sign up. And of course, you'll be able to get more of those credits using your wallet later on. But right now, let me just use my free credits, jump in, and this is an audio game, so it's going to need my microphone access. And once I press play, I'm just simply launched into what we call our game engine. And in this game engine is where you play through one of these scenarios. The way it starts is I'm actually given that scenario to solve, elevator pitch. And in this case, I'm given it in text form. It can also be delivered in video form or in audio. So we have all of those three modalities here. I'm on the rooftop in a party. I've got a friend. He's finally thinking about investing. And now it's my chance to sell him Solana. Why is it different? Why will it change his life and his financial future? He's a bit of a skeptic, but this is my chance, right? So here I go. Here's my challenge. Explain how Solana can serve as an investment for this newbie. So what happens next is I'm actually put on the spot, right? Like I have to respond within 2 minutes to this challenge. I'm doing this now in demo mode, so you can see how this is going to look for you, and you can try this out in a sec. And as I'm speaking, what's going to be happening next is the AI is actually going to ingest my response, and then it's going to compare it to a benchmark and actually analyze it and give me a deep analysis on my skills. And it's that analysis and the data from that ends up on the blockchain in Tekne. So here I go. I'm done with my response. I've done my pitch. And next, what happens is I'm up against my benchmark. Now, the benchmark we've actually gamified here a little bit because you have an AI opponent, an agent who's your opponent. So what she's doing is she's actually also coming up with an answer to the same elevator pitch challenge. The reason for this is now you can see what good looks like. This is actually inspired by machine learning. The way that we teach machines is we give them what's called a supervised learning. So now she's gone up against me and I get to see, can I actually beat the benchmark? Can I beat this opponent? And this is where it gets really fun and interesting because this analysis phase is basically going through these specific skills which the AI has generated for this scenario. And this has been configured as well, potentially by the brand who's set this up. And each of these skills is getting analyzed, and then you're getting this sort of high score mechanic, kind of Street Fighter style, two-way battle going on between me and the benchmark. All the scores are adding up at the bottom, and pretty clear, if I get the highest score, I'm going to win. So let me see how I go, and then we'll have a quick look at some of these skills and the feedback in there. I exceeded the benchmark, bam, and I've earned. These are our point system, which convert, of course, to token as well. So what I've done is I've demonstrated skill, and it's not easy, these games, and I've exceeded it. And so now I've got earned my 2 polys. And each of these, I didn't just get this randomly. I can now see, why have I won? I can look at all of these skills. So for example, in here, let's look at the particular skill of inspire with vision. I can actually look at the feedback here from the analyzer. The criteria here is communicating emotion and connecting to audience and motivating someone to start their financial journey. And my feedback here, it's a little small if you can see it, is to say I highlighted opportunities and I made crypto investment exciting and I motivated and I added a personal anecdote when I pitched, which strengthens that emotional connection. So that's very targeted feedback. This is not some sort of random feedback that's coming back to score. This is very reliable, AI-driven, very deep analysis. And again, the Pollenizer Web2 company is working with serious cohorts at big brands and universities. So this is battle-hardened analysis. So you're getting something that's really valuable, really is reliable, and people learn from it. You can play again if you lose. You can challenge other people to play, etc. But this is the basic game engine. And this runs in any context. We can have financial stuff, we could have DeFi stuff, you can have just user marketing ideas, you can have fun things, you can have very technical and serious things, such as you can actually do things like developer training this way, get people to apply their skills into solving problems with code. All of that's already happening and is proven on the technology behind this. So what happens at the end of this? I come out, and that's one game. So now that I've won it, in this case, I can actually move on to the next one. And then there's some other nice, cool features I'll quickly show you here. If you want a bit of coaching, you can actually get a coach to come in. So there's a lot of really cool AI stuff that the main technology is always bringing out. So in this case, this AI agent will actually help me. I can get some ideas on how can I do this better, right? So there's learning, and then I can go back and basically start moving through the rest of my games. Now, I've got my profile, and on my profile, I can see exactly what I've done. And if I'm that kind of super nerdy guy and I want to go into stats, it's all there, and I can start looking through that. I can get a transcript. So that basically is a report that says exactly what I've done, and I can download that. So for example, I might want to show that to an employer like Simon, who's hiring ambassadors. So I can take that to a job interview. And then of course I'd get to earn my points. And then up here on my profile, all the usual stuff in terms of being able to look at my balance and all of that. And this is where obviously as TGE approaches, you're going to have a lot of functionality there to start looking at the token side of things that's related to performance. So this is the basic engine. There's then a leaderboard. So on the leaderboard now, if you zoom out, you can actually get groups of people, and we've run alpha tournaments where we've had different people in Web3 communities come through, compete. The top players have, for example, been hired. We have a number of Web3 projects that have already done that in alpha testing, and it's worked really well. So this leaderboard will show you who's actually good at doing the job because they've gone through the scenarios, proved it, and you can go in and listen to their responses. If you really want to find out, are they actually able to do it? You're actually able to go in and even listen and get that detail. So there's a lot of value here if you look at the brand side in terms of discovering talent, assessing talent, engaging people and training them. If you've got a new platform, a lot of really great use cases that the team's looking at. And we would love to engage with any brand who sees the potential here, especially in the Solana ecosystem, but also other brands, because we want to bring them into Solana. So that's the basic loop. What I think I'll do, and I want to invite you guys to actually jump in and try this out now, because nothing is as good as getting your hands on it. Now, all you need is a phone or the PC that you're on, but I'm going to invite you to actually come and try this out at this URL here. So what you need to do here is we're going to just go on mute for about 5 or 10 minutes. And I'm going to ask you to please navigate to this URL, tt3.polynize.io. Now, you can use your current PC to do that on another tab. If you do that, because I'm going to ask you to play the audio, the second, sign in with your wallet and play that second simulation, which is in audio, because I want to see everyone's results in there, and we'll show you the leaderboard. If it's in audio on your current PC, it should allow you, when you go into the game, it should ask you to switch your microphone. In case you have it on Google Meets, it'll switch over to that tab. If it's on your phone, you will need the Phantom mobile app, and it needs to run in there currently, our integration. So if you have a phone with the Phantom app, you should be able to also navigate to this, and you should be able to play the mobile version in audio format on your phone. So again, just in terms of what I'm asking you guys to do right now is to go to tt3.polynize.io. Let me just bring up the right tab. And you'll come to this homepage here where you'll be asked to connect your wallet. You'll connect your wallet and then click on the second simulation and go through and play through that first game. And we would love to see the results of that coming through. So let me just switch back to our call here. And I will leave the screen on the URL there for a second. Simon and Sal, I think we'll just go into a 5 to 10 minute mute, and we'll be able to monitor what's happening in the background. And I'm going to give people a chance to actually jump in and try this out.
I'm good. I'm going to give it a go as well.
pt3.pollenize.io. It's just coming out of beta. Apologies if you have any issues connecting. There is a sign up button at the top right, which is the Web 2 sign up. If you really do get stuck with your wallet, feel free to sign in there. You just have to put your email in if you want to do that. But it should work with your wallet. We've just had the team playing with it, and it worked on my mobile as well. Give it a go. Jump in. I'll bring up the leaderboard in the back end so that we can monitor. Let's give it 5 minutes. I'll come back and check in, and if we need a little bit more time. Thanks, guys.
Hey, there's a message there if you want to have a look.
Yep, no worries. Let me just flick over. Yeah, there might be sometimes an issue with the mic switching. Apologies. That's always the problem when trying to do this on a video call. If you can, you could try the phone, or if you want to, click on the first simulation instead of the second one, because the first one is in text mode and you'll be able to type your response. All right. Thanks, guys. We've had a couple of players come through. I'll give it 2 more minutes in case anyone's still going. Anyone else still going? Give me a emoji. All right, a couple more minutes. All right, maybe we should come back and have a bit of a Q&A if people have given it a go. I'd love to hear your feedback. And yeah, it looks like we had, I think it was Darren there, did pretty well. He actually got 100 exactly, which means you're exactly tied with the benchmark. But that came through just before, so thanks for playing. Yeah, sometimes you can calibrate these to be hard and easy as well. That's the other thing, right? So sometimes you want people to win easy, and sometimes you just want people to actually have to prove themselves hardcore. So we've got a lot of tooling in the back-end console for that. So you can make it easy, you can make it hard. Simon, are you there? Can I get your thoughts? Because you just played through twice.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I was worried the mic wouldn't register because I was using it for the other one. Yeah, you can have a look at my results if you want. I'm number 4 with the 59 PIQ. I think it averages it out between the 2 plays. So yeah, like obviously I've played these simulations before, but I'll be honest, like it's been a while since I've played one, and I think not only is this the first time I've done an audio one, it's the feedback has gotten like scarily good. It's actually, yeah, like it actually feels like an actual kind of like coach almost, because I pretty much fully agree that it's my answers are definitely like too like technical, assuming a newbie would know what staking is. I know the feedback said that. I'm like, holy crap, that's literally true. Actually, I shouldn't have just assumed they would know what staking is, because to be fair, like the normal person probably has no idea what that means. But for us, it's just like such a given that everyone knows. So yeah, I think that was really interesting to look through. One thing for me though, I don't know if it's just me, it took me a few attempts to actually feel confident enough to talk to a screen. Like, I know you guys are listening right now, so it's fine, but I don't know, it felt almost a little bit daunting talking to AI. I actually answered a few times and pressed cancel, like leaving a voice message.
Yeah, because hey, we all got to get used to it, eh? Talking to AI. I love it, Simon. Thank you for the feedback. You're right about the coaching. That's actually where it's going, right? There's a lot of application of this into classrooms and universities, because we don't normally get this kind of fast feedback. So as soon as you get that fast feedback, you can learn so fast.
Yeah.
And audio mode's where it's at. That most of the time people are using audio now, and we're going to have video soon, but that might be too much because you don't want to dox yourself all the time. So I think audio is a great sweet spot.
Yeah.
And it puts people on the spot. Love to hear some feedback from the rest of you guys. Jump on the mic.
Yeah, Darren here. Is my audio coming through?
Yeah.
Yeah, just the same sort of comment was I didn't know how to start when I was talking, because it's like a conversation with no start. So if it just said, tell me about Solana, or split an audio file beforehand, before the record, I think that would aid the kickoff of the conversation, because I did also have, how do I start this? And I think I could have started it better with that audio prompt, just as Simon was mentioning. Not like a major sort of change, but I jumped in way too much detail and almost forgot it was a beginner. that sort of like reaffirm of context, I think would be really beneficial. I only did the one playthrough, Simon. Didn't think that you could do another one. It's just one and done, but I completely understand the feedback. It was really good. It did articulate that I went too complex to start with, then like too much reference. So that context setting at the start would be good. That's my feedback.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And actually, it's part of the design process in the console that you have that audio prompt, but also the direct challenge to asking you to actually speak. And we're doing a lot of work in all of those design factors in terms of the main technology. So this one I slapped together. It's probably not the best design, but it also shows you what the AI generates out of the box. Didn't spend any.
I think the coaching and the reference stuff was really good. And I think the points and the baseline was really good as well. So all in all, absolutely impressed by what was coming back. It was more just in that modal interaction. It was like, where do I start? Where if I had that like verbalized question, then I feel it's more like a conversation rather than leaving a voicemail trying to figure out what to say.
Yeah, absolutely. Understood. Thanks, Darren. Simon, I'll pass back to you. I wanted to show the vision of the tech, but I'd be happy for you to lead this in terms of talking about the potential going forward for the Web3 community and everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, thank you very much for that, Shrob. I was actually very entertained by that. So yeah, in terms of the Web3 community going forward, what I have in mind is starting off with pilot programs. So I briefly mentioned that earlier. What we want to do is have a series of co-marketing with established Solana communities. We can give their communities a go at using the Tekne platform and just experiencing exactly what we're all about, completely free of charge. And we want to make sure that these communities actually get something of value from this experience. As I mentioned before, yes, Darren, you had a question?
I was just going to say one use case that I could see myself using this for is as like a project finder. I have people representing the project and ensuring that they're on message and can articulate it beyond externalized community. Because if they're going to be going to events, they're going to be talking about the project, I want to make sure that they understand what they're saying and they don't misrepresent or don't sell the vision properly. Because I have had that in the past where I speak to someone and I'm like, hold on, that's not what we do. Who told you that? And that's supposed to be a representative from us. So I'm just highlighting that there's an internalized value for staff and event personnel beyond the externalized communication stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be honest, we wanted to launch this initially as a more external way to build a community, but I'm really glad you're seeing the actual value of this from an internal perspective, because I guess that's what the Web2 side, like Colonize, is all about. Like that's basically what corporations, businesses, that's the value that they see. And I'm glad that Web3 businesses can be aligned with that value as well. I believe though Web3 and the broader like blockchain community as a whole, it actually gives us an opportunity to expand beyond just the internal side and actually look to bring value externally as well through this whole co-marketing. Like I see it as almost like a hub. Right now, we have a lot of just, in my opinion, misinformation. Like there's a lot of the information saturation has just gone absolutely insane with AI articles and just AI bot armies just raiding everything. What I want to create, this is like a very long-term future, is we like as a side component to all of this, we can even create like a hub where people can have trusted information. How do we get there? And that's through, as I mentioned, like the co-marketing, the co-marketing and the tournaments at the start through our pilot program. What we want is to establish a community of our own. Right now, we are relatively fresh in the Web3 world. We don't really have a large Tekne community, but that's what we aim to change through the pilot programs. Through every program that we do, we're hoping that users will stick to us. They'll see that the value that we deliver, and they'll see us as almost like a source of truth. Like you can't really, what do you say? Like you can't really cheat in a lot of these, or at least we'll try to make it as hard as possible to cheat in these. And you'll be able to see like what the truth actually is. You'll be able to see the different communities, like audio, for example. It's very hard to actually create, at least at the moment, a bot army of audio. You'll be able to see which community actually has the real users, for example, based on how many people actually enter into the tournament. From there, we'll be able to actually build like a hub of information. I don't know if this is all making sense because I'm just free talking right now. Does that sound, Darren? I see the thumbs up. Is Shrub? Did that kind of make sense?
No, absolutely. I just want to add a couple of things just from the broader business and what we're learning in the market. Number one, absolutely aligning with the internal use case is huge for training, and a lot of many problems that anyone who runs a serious business has. Secondly, yes, to the building of community. This, from an individual's point of view, we can see already is deeply incentivizing to the best. This is not somewhere where if you just want to cheat and not do any work and get credit for something that you didn't do, you're not going to do this. And what it does is it brings out the people who do have skills. They get to stand out and they stick around and they actually become like assets, if you like, talent. And then the other thing, the last point, we're learning that it's a very partnership-driven business model. Darren, as you're already pointing out, as a business owner, there are many ways you can use this, and some of those or all of those external facing ones are commercially attractive to your customers. So what we're finding in 10 months of go-to-market has shown us that a lot of partners want to take this out to their communities. And so it's a nice ecosystem play there that we can make commercially lucrative, win-win.
Yeah, 100% on the ensuring that the community understand the message. But from a project finder perspective, there's two use cases, which is beyond someone who works for you. One is the temporary event staff that you get who are manning your booths at the conferences. And the other one is ensuring that a KOL understands what they're talking about. So there are two consistent sort of crypto project purchases, which are more internalized beyond just the external community sort of education-y stuff. So I just highlighting as they are activities done by nearly every project and potentially ways that are a good way to get in before they move to the external side.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a flywheel there because every individual who goes through any internal program, the high performers get incentivized to then explore further. And so as we build out and give people the opportunity to fill out the gallery of opportunities and tournaments, you get this horizontal movement that we see. And then what that does is it actually builds an ecosystem of high performers, which over time, there's a lot of compounding from that. And of course, if we can get the skills on chain and start building that sort of financialized infrastructure underneath, I think this has a really bright future. And we're very excited about it. One of our biggest problems, the tech's ready and we're ready to go, but no one knows us. And so finding those partners at all levels, whether it's commercial, support, investment, is what the team's focusing on. So I'd love to speak to anyone you think would also want to see this.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, I guess from my side, building the future, I also just wanted to add, as Shrav mentioned, building that team for external businesses. We can definitely help with that. I actually do plan on using it myself for the ambassadors. It's something that we genuinely need for the DeFi project I'm working on. And it's something that I just haven't been able to really do or decide on for the past probably 6 months. I've been putting it off. So yeah, count me in as one of your testing pilot programs. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Thank you, guys. Maybe this pretty much, Sal, is where we wanted to bring people. Hand it back to you, and we'll keep it short and sweet if you want to wrap up.
I just have one question before you wrap up. Does your system allow us to issue an NFT or something like that? So we could potentially give someone additional Discord access by using one of those tools. With the blockchain interaction beyond just the credits, what sort of ability beyond do you have?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Mint that NFT. That's what it's all about. Minting that outcome is key to this. Absolutely. You can just imagine that last step there of actually getting that into your wallet and allowing you to configure that up if you're the one who launched the tournament, and branding that and making that an asset that's aspirational for people.
Is that part of your project, or is that something that we need to code, like an NFT minter?
The NFT minter has been already alpha tested on another blockchain, and it's on our roadmap, and there's no technical blocks. So it's just a matter of implementation as soon as we get that first pilot and partners going.
Yeah, I just think about if somebody's going to become a brand ambassador or a support person, that I've got more knowledge of people in the community, I can highlight that in Discord, and that can have a nice way of bringing people in and showing, listen to these people, they know what they're talking about, and not just some rando who's joined in the Discord server.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We also have a on-platform rewards marketplace. I didn't show you guys that because I just wanted to keep it as a first stage here to demo, but that's also a way to quickly bootstrap in any type of rewards. The Web2 side uses that for everything from interviews and mentoring to t-shirt swag to monetary rewards. So some of our alpha testers actually used that. So they dropped assets through the in-platform, but then we can automate as well.
Yeah, just to add on to that, like from my experience working with Sharav for a couple of years now, he's a wizard. So Darren, if you have any suggestions that like weren't on the roadmap, and if they make logical sense, I'm sure Sharav can whip something up. Going to what is on our roadmap, as Sharav mentioned, that we do have like a in-app shop. So when you earn these polys, you can exchange them for like items and stuff. On the Web3 side, we were thinking you can exchange it for Ts. You can also exchange it for TGE points, basically. TGE points is just like the airdrop that you're going to get at TGE. And I'm pretty sure in terms of like technical blockers, correct me if I'm wrong, Sharav, but we could also have brand points. For example, you can have your brand, and when you win a tournament that's sponsored by that brand or created by that brand, they can get an additional reward that can be exchanged exclusively for things from that brand's shop, for example. So you have your overall shop with the polys, and then if you want, you could have your own branded shop, but I'm sure that has obviously like an integration cost. So it might come with an additional fee. If there's strong demand for custom NFTs, because right now when we're talking about NFTs, we have NFT minters, but it's like generalized, I believe, skills NFTs. If you want like a branded NFT, we could, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we can do branded NFTs as well. And it's actually, in my opinion, a pretty good idea. Not for Discord roles, like a proof of you've done something for whatever brand. Because
I'm bringing up an example right now from a real alpha tournament, a brand called Layer 1X. So they used this for community growth and ambassador discovery, and this is what they did. So it's a nice, easy way to prototype and get things going without, you can use your existing assets. So these are simply reward vaults, which you unlock, and they give you direct access into the Discord server to pick up stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, just some of us already are using like an NFT gating solution. So if we're able to like just plug that in, then that probably opens up the market. So it makes it easier integration because we've already got some of those like pre-configured. So then we can just plug this in without more work is logically why I'm saying that.
Yeah, this is why we created this, because you can just send people straight to that link and get it happening. And it's all about launching things with minimum work, right, for everyone. And then, yeah, if you move forward, and we'll have that second layer of actually minting your own through Tekne. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right, we'll wrap it up there. That was amazing. A lot of participation from the audience, entertaining and educational.
Thanks, Sal. Thanks for having us.